And welcome back to another 3D Bloom. Today I am going to pour a petal that I did way before I started videotaping. I want to see if I can do it again, and I did it in this mold, which I got from Etsy. I am using the Let's Resin 1-to-1 regular resin. I am placing a layer, as you can see, and then I want to make sure I have enough for my white, so I'm going to go measure that while this sort of spreads before I add some more. Okay, so I want to make sure I do have a little, I've left a little room for a back coat. So I'm just going to I've got so much resin left over. Next time I'll remember I don't need that much for this particular mold. So I did write down in my notes, but I think I always err on the more. Okay, so I've put in aside 30 grams to use my Bloom pigment paste. And I'm going to, as you can see, torch. And then I found, I'm going to get my little spoon here. I found these little cute little gems things, embellishments on Temu. And I thought I'd incorporate it. So let me first put some crushed black in the center, as much as centered as I can. Oops, let me move that away. This is just some black crushed glass that I used to have from my card making days, and it works perfectly for resin work. So I'm going to do a sort of circular, as tight as possible. Oops, that's not quite right, so I'm going to move it a bit. This tool is fine because it's silicone, so it's not scratching the bottom of my mold. So I'm just going to try to play with this a little bit more. Come on, get a bit smaller. I might have to use a different pointier tool. I'll use this, but I'll be very, very careful not to scratch the bottom. You can always fast forward through some of my process. Sometimes I know when I'm going to take some time, so I'm able to do a time lapse, but sometimes I'm not. Sometimes, you know, I have an idea, I start pouring, and then it takes a little longer. Oh, that is not centered. Crud. Okay, let me move it some more. Okay. Could add more of the crushed glass, black crushed glass, to fill the gaps a little bit, but I kind of want it to look kind of natural looking. So And if I do use my tool all the way down to the surface, I make sure it's not scraping or touching it. I'm just sort of barely doing it on the surface. Okay, then I'm going to randomly place these 5 colors. Okay, obviously it's that my first layer of resin here is not going to cover it, or the back of it. So let's see, 1, 2, I'm trying to follow where these points are. Oopsie boopsie. And since I'm going to be placing a top coat, I'm not too worried. Although this is really high. We shall see. Now, since I do have more resin, I am going to pour over and I know it won't stay, even though I'm, you know, pouring it in the center, because it does spread out. Just thought it'd be kind of, you know, different to have a different kind of setting, center, sorry, as opposed to, you know, your usual suspects of glitter or crushed glass. So just trying plain. Now, I was going to, let's see, I wonder if I want to put an alcohol, I will put an alcohol ink color in the center. Just make sure this is very, very as bubble free as possible. So I'm using the Resin yellow. I'm just going to put 1 drop or maybe 2 drops in the center. 3 drops. Okay, that's it. Then I will, in my 30 grams of clear resin, I will put in my bloom. And it's 1 drop per 10 grams. So 1, 2, 3. So depending on how much room I have left, you know, after I unmold, and for the back coat, I might have to put some resin tape around to sort of create a dam, but we shall see. Okay, so I'm mixing this really, really well, and it's getting warm, which is good. No, I was going to do that, but then I said, oh, no, I've got alcohol ink there, so I better not do that yet. Just trying to pick what I can see with the lighting that I have here. Okay, so excuse the crunching sound coming up shortly. I think our spring is coming because the weather is just beautiful today up in the Washington State area. Okay. Now what I want, and I didn't put any inks here, is because I want a white petal. So, oh, I see some more little, see some more little goobers here. Just clean it up. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this just a little teeny weeny bits. And then I might sort of move these out a little bit here. Oops. Move that in a bit. Okay, here we go. So in this pour, what I thought I'd do is sort of honor the shape of this mold with these, with this petal shape. So and depending on how this turns out, I may show you my first attempt of doing this way back when. So I did let my resin sit till it reached 35 Celsius. Unfortunately, I went a bit high on that one. So now what I'm going to do, let's see, what should I do on those? I'm going to do those little thingamajigs, but with a piping bag. This one's bugging me, so I'm actually going to go out. Oops. Make it come up there. Okay, that is it. And, oh, didn't need all that resin, all that white. So let me just fine tune some of these. And I'm going to elongate this one a bit. So I'm just kind of fussing. right. So I may, oh, I think what I'll do is, depending on how this blooms, I'll take a photo of it, and then I will decide what I will do on the top coat or back coat. Top back coat, I'm going to call it. And then I will see you for the unmolding. So I was tempted to go over here as well, but I'm just going to leave it. I always like to go in and mess with it, so I won't today. I mean, I could have left this center alone, but I just felt it was kind of lonely with just, you know, the stark centerpieces. So, okay. I will see you shortly. Okie doke. So it's been a few hours and I see some nice shaping here. And from this angle, it looks centered. I'm going to bring you in for a close-up. So what I'm going to do is mix up some JDiction 4-hour resin, put a top coat, and I won't film that. And then I will see you for the unmolding. Alrighty. So I did put my black back coat on, and it's still a little bendy, which is what I was hoping for, because I want to hopefully make this into a bowl, because I like bowls this shape. Okay, deep breath. Wow, it's too bad this moved, but look at those petals. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to do this again and figure out how to get that in the center. Oh my goodness. Maybe what I'll do is put some here or something outside, but look at those petals. Oh my god, I'm going to take you in for a close-up. Oh, I'm just so mad about those. Look at those petals. How gorgeous. Thank you so much for watching.